So hey, this video is all about doing some DIY painting, automotive painting. I was shocked, and honestly, I started the video saying that because if it didn't turn out good, I wasn't going to show it to you. But it is amazing, and it's something that you can do totally. But here's the mistake I made. I used my old iPhone, which does not record sound. My boys tried to tell me that. I didn't listen to them. So the whole time I'm out here working and sweating, I normally don't record, but I recorded the whole thing for you because I care about you. But there's no sound. So I'm just going to have to voice over it. And I apologize. I'm just going to walk you through it. Stay till the end because I'm telling you, you are going to be blown away that I did the results of what I did with a spray can are pretty unbelievable. And I'm not going to say it's going to change lives, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's going to change somebody's life. All right, so enjoy. Look at this big dumb animal. Like there's his intro. You know, he always does his intro. Anyhow, he's talking to you and he's walking you outside. And this is the problem. My wife's got a 2018 Expedition. It's in great shape. But as you can see at the roof, see the white part there? The little piece of body trim blew off, right? It's supposed to look like this over here as I'm waddling over to show you. And she's been on me for a little while. And that's where I'm explaining that here. And I'm probably saying something halfway funny. Who knows? So I did the right thing. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, obviously this big dumb animal's talking while I'm talking too, but I got to do the content somehow. But I looked online, all the junkyards. I tried to find a piece of that trim, same exact color as my wife's car, so that I could just, order one that was used, pop it on there, and be done with it. Well, I looked everywhere. I couldn't find it. Recording it this way kind of reminds me of the Red Green Show. You remember that? That Canadian show where some guy would be working in the... Anyway, I digress. So I tried to find one online. I couldn't. And I don't want to go to a body shop and pay a ton of money to get this redone. So my only option was to order a new piece. So I ordered a new piece, and it comes in black. And my first reaction was, hey, it's right next to the roof rack anyway, so let's order two, one for the passenger and the driver's side both. Pop them on and don't paint them. But it's not going to look great. And quite honestly, I think I paid $175 for this from the Ford house. So we don't want to do that. So then I researched painting and how that would work. Getting some rattle can stuff, but obviously it's my wife's car, and so I want it to look nice. So here's the thing. Here's the revolutionary thing. I found a company here where I live locally in Temple called English Color and Supply, and they're able to color match your vehicle paint and put it in an aerosol can. And get this, they're even able to include the clear coat, so it makes it a one-stage paint. And I was a little skeptical. Don't get me wrong. And so I was able to give them the color code, and they matched the paint for me. And as you can see, the can shows there. Now, as far as finding your color, mine was on the door, and for the 2018 Expedition, it just said D1. And that doesn't mean it's Division I college, right? It just means that's the paint code, which was like stone metallic gray or stone gray metallic. I can't remember. And it's not cheap. This one can was $65, and there's kind of a close-up of it. And what's going to happen here is since it's got the hardener or the clear coat and all that stuff in it, I don't know how it all works. It's science. Don't get me to lying about it. But if you see the little red cap on top, we'll basically use that to puncture the bottom, activates it, and then we'll have to shake it up. Now, this is a really cost-effective way to do it, and I'm telling you, once you see the results, you're going to be blown away, as I was. Funny story, I even actually talked to the lady behind the counter. I was like, hey, I'm redoing a 64 Chevy. Maybe I'll just come and buy like a whole case from you. And she was like, please don't. So here we talk about the prep too. So it's black, obviously the prep work. Look it up for yourself. You need to scuff it up a little bit. There's all kinds of different methods of doing this and people that talk about it. And that's probably what I'm explaining here is what to do. So you just got to scuff it up a little bit. Now, I chose to use just a Scotch-Brite pad because really all I'm doing is just giving it a little bit of a texture just so that you can have something for the paint to adhere to. And so that's what I'm doing here. Now on my particular molding, there was a little bit of rubber. So I am going to mask it off. I did mask it off, and then I scuffed it up just a little bit. And if you kind of look closely, I think I've got a shot of it in here. You can see that whenever I get done sanding it, you can kind of see a little bit of a white haze to it. And again, you're not digging a hole, just really kind of scuffing it up. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if we look at this thing 6 months from now, it's all worn off, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So while this big dumb animal's talking, and again, I don't know what he's saying. I think he said some clever stuff. One of my questions I just thought of randomly this weekend was, What about the good Karens out there? You know, Karen got such a bad name now. Like, I know some Karens that are nice people that mind their own business. What about them? You know, what's the fallout of all this for them? That's a question I have. Anyway, I digress again. But let's talk about prep. So we did the prep here. One of the things you're going to see me do is I used Windex just to wipe it down. If we were really doing a professional job, I guess I would use a tack cloth or some kind of alcohol. I don't know. I used Windex, okay? I wiped it on a rag. You can see me here doing that. And then shaking is very important. So one of the things you got to make sure you do is you shake in between coats. I remember when I was a kid, 14, 15, I was working for a home builder, and I was staining some shelves outside, and it took me all day. I mean, there was tons of them, and the color started changing in the stain. It's because I wasn't shaking it up. The pigments were going down at the bottom, and when you're doing paint like this, you really need it, especially if it needs to match something. You got to really make sure you shake it up each time. So the can says 2 minutes, so I'm going to shake it for 2 minutes. I'm a rule follower, and well, not really, but for something like this, yes. Now this is where I have to activate the can, right? So you take the little red cap off the top, and you put it on the bottom, and you just squeeze it. And I'll be honest with you, there was no like earth-shattering moment where I felt like everything just like gushed out. I didn't really hear anything crazy, but I pushed it just like I was instructed to, and it seemed to have worked. Now with these cans, and they'll tell you over and over again, but with these cans, once you activate it, you've got like 4 hours to use it. And one thing, it would have been cool if I would have had something else I wanted to paint too. So because I had lots of leftover paint, so I just painted the old workbench there just because I didn't want it to go to waste. But anyway, once you activate it, you got to shake it, as we aforementioned. So here I'm gonna shake it for 2 minutes. Now I promise the video's coming to an end, but while Papa Giorgio there is shaking it, let's talk about flash times. I don't really know the technical term for that, but that's basically the amount of time that you leave within each coat to let it, look at this idiot, to let it dry. And what you want to do on this first coat, you'll see I'm going to do a very, very light coat. And then you wait for it to set up a little bit so the paint's still sticky, and then you put your next coat on during that. And I ended up putting 4 coats. 2 would have been probably sufficient, but I've got the paint, so I might as well. So that's what we're going to do, and just go light. And take it easy, fellas. Don't get too crazy with it. You don't want any runs. So here we are. We're going to do our first coat. One of the things I say here, and again, not a painter, but don't just start spraying it immediately on the part. Test it somewhere first, kind of make sure it's not clogged up, make sure you don't got a bad tip, and kind of continue shaking between each one. But again, this is going to be a super light coat. One of the things I do, you see the other paint in the background, is I take the lids from other paint cans and set them down to set it on. And you see this is a light dusting. I mean, I'm just kind of barely hitting it. You can't really see it in the video, but there's still a lot of black showing through. And then I whip around to the other side and hit that as well. Pretty self-explanatory, right? And I'm going to spare you the brutality of watching this anymore. I sprayed that. I set my timer for 10 minutes. It was like 95 degrees in my garage, and they said that's about the cutoff for being able to do it. I used 10 minutes as my timer. So I did the first coat, 10 minutes, second coat, 10 minutes, third coat, and then finished up with the fourth coat. And this is what it looked like immediately after painting it 4 coats, which maybe that's a little heavy. I think I explain it later too. I did take it inside, but I mean, look at the finish on that. I mean, this is hot off 4 coats right here. So I took it outside to see if I could, get a better look in the sunlight, and I'm going to tell you, I was blown away. I mean, that is pretty amazing, pretty impressive. So I even walk it over to the car just because I want to kind of get a better feel. And this is, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, hot day. And look at this. I don't have, great iPhone, but look at that. I mean, it is. Try to hold it up to the pillar here to get a better look at it. But, I mean, blown away. Even the blue tape, just matches. Look at that. So this is going to fool pretty much anybody to thinking that we, went to a body shop maybe to have this painted. So, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be so blown away, but I am. A fella's blown away. Sorry again about the recording not working on the audio. But hey, it's a couple days later, and I was going to show you what the finished product looked like. So check this out. So basically I painted it, and then I took it back inside and let it dry for a couple of days. And I mean, I couldn't be more impressed with it. There's a couple little smudges. That's where my fingers were rubbing it. But like I said, I couldn't be more impressed with it. So if you're going to tackle some kind of little body job, if it's only like a small part, man, get the paint mixed like that. It's awesome. If I can do it, anybody can do it, because I'm not good at this kind of stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll keep trying to crank some out here and there. Don't worry. Hey, don't feel bad for me. This is not my new life ambition. I've got a full-time job and other things going on. You know, making these videos is literally just, oh, I said literally. I'm not supposed to say that. It's not a big deal. You know, if you see a 10-minute video, odds are it took me 15 minutes to make it. So it's really just recording what I was going to do anyway. So don't feel bad about me. I'm not changing. I'm not freaking out. I'm not doing weird stuff. You know what I mean? It's just recording what I was going to do already anyway. I mean, I might as well. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, mash the subscribe button and hit like on this video. I think that's what the kids say. Is that what the little kids say now? There you go. All right, have a good day.